Not all goods coming into the country use the proper channels. Some are smuggled into the country, especially those subject to duty payment. And in the end, in these tuck shops, some products are way cheaper than locally manufactured goods.
And we are looking at some of the challenges they are facing, among them a lot of smuggled products, and we want to see how we can address that. We will be coming hard on people who are smuggling goods into the country because
Industry and Commerce Minister Mangaliso Ndlovu says this affects both the industry and the economy.
they are obviously depriving our fiscus of much needed money, but also they then come and sell these products at ridiculously low prices, which are not reflective of any economic fundamentals.
Capacity utilization in the manufacturing sector fell by 2.9% points to 53.2% in 2023 from the 56.1% the previous year. According to the CZI, this was primarily as a result of economic headwinds and highly regulated environment. Minister Mangaliso admits that these smuggled goods therefore presents unfair competition.
And that is affecting those who are complying with the laws, who are paying all the statutory requirements. And we need to make sure that at a policy level and at enforcement level, we level the playing field. So that is part of what we are looking at.
This chiking plant is one of the affected industries, operating at just above 30% utilization.
The challenge with smuggled products is that you don't know exactly if these are if they are damaging to consumers, and also in terms of quantities, these products, they don't adhere to the regulations in the country.
Local industry is running against time as they need to be competitive to survive in conditions set to be created by the African Continental Free Trade Area. When all barriers to trade are eliminated, this industry must be in a healthy state to be able to face competition.
It is building up to what will then culminate in a broader, more ambitious, more aggressive industrial development policy, which will most likely coincide with NTS2 coming on board January 2026. So we are looking at a transitional plan that will utilize for us to address a lot of the challenges that we are seeing.
The minister said the country is open to trade, but come through proper channels. He said the smuggled goods are also used to drain foreign currency in the market as they exist outside the value chains. That, he said, must be stopped. For ZTN Prime, I'm Govech Gada in Harare.
We're now joined by ZTN Prime Head of Business Andy Hodges to discuss the effects of smuggling on the Zimbabwean market. Andy, good evening. Now, what could be the overall impact of smuggled goods on the economy?
To answer your question, the impact of smuggling into Zimbabwe and the economy is absolutely massive. Let's look at just two basic examples. The first, of course, is revenue. You can appreciate that bringing product into Zimbabwe needs to pay import duty. That duty would then go to the government. The government uses that for things as developing schools, hospitals, roads, and so forth. In fact, it uses that money for what they call this recurrent expenditure. So as a result, all smuggled goods coming to the country are not paying taxes. Government gets no revenue. Now, most of those goods, of course, also find their way downtown into tuck shops. Again, those tuck shops and those businesses are not registered. They don't pay any tax as well. So basically what you have is a huge smuggling economy which the government makes no money from. Let's look at the other side of it, of course. Let's talk about health and safety. All smuggled products are coming in. They're not checked for health and safety. They don't have any standards. They could be expired. They could even be moved into different packaging. So as a result, that smuggling is also making it very dangerous for the consumer when they buy those products, because they don't know what's in them, whether they've got anything that can harm them, and in fact, in some cases, they're taking a risk on their lives.
So what's the solution? Because obviously the solution right now will not to be to deal with retail shops only, given the claims that truckloads of such goods come into the country and what is expected to be well-coordinated smuggling.
Look, when it comes to smuggled goods, it isn't the formal retailers that are actually involved in this. Here we're talking about the tuck shops and what I can call downtown shops. We can call it the informal market. The issue is that how are these products getting through the border? We know that Zimbabwe has very porous border, but the level and quantity of these products really implies that this isn't just people carrying sacks across the border with product. This appears to be a well-coordinated smuggling ring in which large volumes of smuggled products are coming in through the border. So effectively, the government has to try and stop the problem where it is, which is at the border. Need to put in place tighter border controls, possibly drone surveying of the border to ensure people don't sneak through the porous borders. Remember, Zimbabwe has thousands of miles of borders, so quite frankly, it isn't difficult to smuggle product into the country. The question is, though, that the big smugglers will have to use the legal border posts because the quantity is so large.
Now, Andy, the minister also highlighted that smuggling has impacted negatively on the job market as local industry is now being forced to scale down. Can the country do something to reverse the trend?
There's no doubt that smuggling has an impact on the job market. Let me put it this way. If the smuggling wasn't there, then formal companies would have to produce increased volumes of product to satisfy the market. As a result, the demand for their products is down, so they're not producing more product for the market, number one. And number two, they're actually reducing production because the smuggled goods are taking away their market share. And of course, what happens when that occurs at companies? Well, they obviously redundancies occur and loss of jobs. So there's no doubt that we need to get a handle on the smuggling of goods. And yes, it will definitely help the job creation market. And as a result, of course, keep what we should be doing, formal business in business.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.